Hello everybody and welcome to Yorkshire Circus's Circus Staff Making Workshop. My name's Tor.
And I'm Albie.
And today we're going to teach you how to make one of these beautiful practice circus staffs.
Okay, so before you get started, just need to make sure that you've got everything you'll need in front of you already. So what you're going to need is the base of the staff here, the handle. You're going to need 2 lengths of rubber for each end. You're going to need 1 length of grip tape. You're going to need 1 roll of electrical tape and 8 strips of this holographic tape. In terms of equipment, all you're going to need is a pair of scissors and a damp cloth.
So without further ado, let's begin.
Okay, so the first step we're going to do is going to be applying the holographic tape to the length of the staff. So to do this, you're going to start by holding the staff in one hand with your pinky lined up to the edge of the tape in the center. Now, where your thumb is where you're going to start applying the holographic tape from. So, to do this, you're going to want to peel off part of the backing of the tape. And really take your time with this step because it's very important to get it all on parallel and straight to make the staff look nice. So, from the point you marked where your thumb is on the staff, you're going to just stick down the first bit of tape, just smooth it down, and then slowly start removing the backing with one hand. I find it works quite well with finger and thumb. And with the other hand, just start smoothing down the tape as you go. Now, if you find you have any crinkles or creases in the tape, all you have to do is just gently peel it back a couple of centimeters and reapply it. So the goal here is to try and get the tape as parallel to the length of the staff as possible. So just keep going the whole way along, peeling off the backing. And with the other hand, as you go, smoothing it down onto the staff. And then once it's on, you're going to just run your hand along it again, fully smooth it down, flatten out any creases, make sure it's all stuck on nicely. Now we're going to move on to the second piece. Okay, so now that we've applied the first strip of holographic tape, we're going to move on to the second strip. Okay, so this is going to be done in a very similar way to the first strip, except with this one, we're going to have to make sure that the second strip is slightly overlapping the first, only by about ½ centimetre, but what this will do is give us a good full coverage of the tape over the staff. So again, just like the first, we're going to peel a bit of the backing off the tape, and we're going to lay it down and just slightly overlap it over the first strip. Now, just like the first, we're going to make sure that we're smoothing it down a bit as we go, making sure that there's no creases or bumps anywhere. And again, if you do end up with a little crease, that's all right. You can just pull back the tape a little bit and reapply it. And just as you're applying it, you want to make sure you've still got that overlap over the first strip. Otherwise, you're going to have a gap in the middle of the holographic tape. So just going to keep on going along the staff like this. You see, it gives you nice full coverage. And the last little bit here. Okay, so then you just want to run your hands over the full length of the second strip, making sure it's all firmly pressed down, like so. And that's the second strip done. Now, if you want to just pause the video, you can come back and see what the whole of one side will look like when it's fully taped. Okay, so now you can see we have all the holographic tape applied to one end of the staff. So we can now move on to the other end. Before we do though, just make sure one last time that all the tape is nicely pressed down, it's all applied properly, there's no kinks or bumps in it. If there are, just smooth them out. So now we're going to move on to applying it to the other side. Okay, so just like before, we're going to start 1 fist's width away from the centre marker and peel the backing off the tape, just off the very end here. And lay it down parallel to the staff. And again, just slowly lay it onto the staff, making sure it's all smooth. Pulling it back and reapplying if you need to. Smoothing down the edges, making sure they're fully applied. Okay, there we go, that's the first strip done on the second end. Okay, so now once again you can pause the video and come back when you've done the next 3 strips, remembering to overlap them nicely, and come back. When you come back, we'll have all the holographic tape applied. Okay, so now that you've got the holographic tape completely covering both sides of the staff, I'm going to hand over to Tor to show you how to apply the grip tape.
Great, so next stage we're going to apply the grip tape. For this section you'll need your grip tape, your electrical tape and your scissors. So start off, take your grip tape, take it out of its packaging, unwrap it, and we can just pull off this plastic clear bit on top of it. Chuck that to the side. Now you'll notice on your grip tape that you've got a straight edge and a tapered edge. We're going to start with the tapered edge, and on your tapered edge you'll notice that there's a straight side and an angled side. So with your staff, we're going to start with the angled side of the grip tape facing upwards, and you're going to begin just a few centimetres above the end of your holographic tape, so roughly about here. And basically what you're going to do is, as you put the grip tape on, you're going to spiral round and round and round all the way down to about the same space on the other end, so about 2 centimetres or so from the other edge of the holographic tape. And underneath your grip tape you'll notice that there's this white tape that you'll need to peel off as you go along. And basically what you want to do is overlap each time by about that distance, so about the amount of distance between the white tape and the edge of the black tape, so probably about ½ centimetre or so. And by doing this you'll basically keep the consistency of the grip tape the same all the way down, which is going to give you a really comfortable and natural grip once the staff is complete. So starting off, like I said, with the tapered end, the angled side of the taper facing upwards, and we're just going to peel it off a little bit, get it nice and straight on the top, press it down. It's important that you don't stretch the grip tape at all, because otherwise it can sort of disform a little bit, and it keeps its form much better if you just keep it. You want to pull it out, but just not stretch it, basically. And so as you get it down, you can basically straight away start overlapping the tapered end. Don't worry about the fact that there might look like there's a bit of a gap there, because we're going to cover that with electrical tape later on. So just be mindful of keeping your ½ centimetre of overlap. Start going round and round spiralling down, pulling your white under tape off as you go. Remember not to pull the grip tape too much, but getting it on there nice and firm. It can be a little bit tricky, so do just take your time with this one. If you've accidentally gone over it too much, just pull it back and go back over it again, realign it. It's all good. Keep on pulling the white tape off. Getting that ½ centimetre or so of overlap. That's it, getting close to the end now. So you don't want any of the wood to be showing once you've finished. And so once you get to the holographic tape, just take it to about 2 centimetres or however far you were over on the other end. And then once you're happy with it, these scissors, you can just snip that off. Make sure that's out of the way. And like I said, don't worry about the fact that it might not look tidy now, because next stage we're going to add the electrical tape. So grab your electrical tape. The tricky bit is pulling the first bit off, but once you've got that done, it's all easy. And on each end, you're just going to go over and over and over. You can go over as much or as little as you want here, but just as long as it's just making sure that it's, you know, it looks nice and tidy and that it totally is securing that grip tape, so there's no chance of it coming off any time in the future. I'm going to go over a little bit like that, just to make it really tidy. And then once I'm happy with it, it's going to snip it off. Down over. So yeah, as you can see, that's nice and tidy. There's no chance of that grip tape unwinding. And then, same on the other side. Get your electrical tape. Again, you don't want to stretch the electrical tape too much, because it'll do the same as the grip tape and it'll warp it a little bit. So I'm going to go around this bit a few times, and then I'm going to bring it up a little bit. Now I'm going to go over here a couple of times. Just make sure that it looks nice and straight and tidy, and then I'm happy with it, so I'm just going to pull it off, hold on to it, and snip. And there you have it, a lovely, comfortable grip for your spinning staff. So now we've finished with the grip tape, I'm going to pass it back over to Elby, who's going to show you the final stage, the rubber counterweights.
Okay, so for this stage, again, you're going to need the scissors and the electrical tape, and you're also going to need your 2 rolls of rubber. So, to start this, you're going to unreel a bit of your rubber and lay it just over the end, one of the ends of the staff. Now, you want it overlapping the end of the staff a little bit, as this is going to help provide a little bit of protection to both the end of the staff if you drop it, or to any furniture or the floor, so that the wooden end of the staff isn't the first thing that comes in contact. So keep one finger on the end of the rubber and put a little bit of tension on the main length of the rubber with the other hand, and slowly start wrapping it with that little bit overlapping the end. Now, as you wrap, you want to try and make sure that the edges of the rubber line up nicely like that, and just make sure to keep some tension on it as you go. This will help the rubber grip to itself, and just keep on wrapping until you get to the end. Okay, so now as you get to the very end of the rubber, just make sure to put a good bit of tension in it as you wrap it, and then with one hand you're going to hold it in place. With the other hand, just get the end of the electrical tape and apply it onto the end here like that. Now, in the same direction as you were wrapping the rubber, you're just going to wrap the electrical tape around the end of the staff. Do a couple of wraps to start with, and then slowly start making your way down, just like you did with the grip tape. Now this is going to just make sure that the rubber stays in place nicely, doesn't move around or come unravelled over time. So put a nice generous amount of tape on as you're doing this. And when you come to the other end, like this, just do another couple of rotations just to make sure it's nicely firmly on there, and then just cut off the end, smooth it down nicely, and that is one end of the staff done. Okay, so now that you've done one end, you can go ahead and do the other end as well, and we'll come back to you when you've done both ends. You can pause the video here. Okay, so that's it. Both sides are now completely wrapped and you have the counterweights on both ends. So, as you can see, it is now perfectly balanced in the centre. So that's it. You've made your practice staff. Now it's just time to get out and start using it and start practicing with it.
We really hope that you've enjoyed this workshop brought to you today by Yorkshire Circus. What we really want is to see your staffs that you've made today, so feel free to send them over to us either on our social medias or on our email, which is hello@yorkshirecircus.co.uk. We've got loads and loads of stuff coming up over the summer, both online and in person here in Open Source Arts. So, like I said, check out our social medias, which is Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And until you see us again, happy circusing. I'm Tor.
And I'm Albie.
And hope to see you again soon.